Hi everybody, my name is Jeroen Renes and sitting next to me is Johan Tekens. And today's webinar we're going to talk about Transparent Logon X10. And actually yesterday we had a sneak preview for our existing Transparent Logon clients since we recently launched the latest version. That's why Johan looks so excited, because, I mean, it's his product, right? Really glad you could join. Today, we're going to share the latest, greatest. You can also connect with us, ask questions, complaints, whatever not, via the chat box. Please use that, and we'll operate that on the fly. Let's get going, Johan.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I'm really so excited about the new Transparent Logon X10.
Yeah.
We did quite a bit of work. Actually worked with customers, worked with developers to get the whole product done. I think we started the product in about 2012.
Yeah.
For a big customer.
Yeah.
And did a lot of developments and changes on the product. And it was really time that we started all over from scratch to build a whole new iteration of the same product. A lot of the software under the hood remained the same, but we got a whole new front end, a whole new code line to make it more robust and also future proof. We have a lot of things on our to-do list for upcoming features which we can now all add to Transparent Logon.
I guess, yeah. Well, of course, because it's Johan's product, he's very positive. But the great thing is, in yesterday's webinar with our Transparent Logon customers, we got some really positive feedback and happy emails today. So yeah, it looks really nice. Let's have a look.
Yeah. So maybe first start off with the product itself, to explain what the product is. And today we're actually going to in more depth. Maybe you want to say something about
who we are. Yeah, so we're assuming that we're organizing this webinar especially for JD Edwards users that are not a client of Steltix yet. So you may not know who we are, which would be very surprising. But just in case, we're in business. We're in the JD Edwards business. We have offices in several countries in Europe. You can see them listed over there. And the interesting thing, of course, for us working with JD Edwards is that our clients typically work all over the world. In addition to these offices, we've got projects in the Middle East, America, Canada, wherever not. Well, and actually what we're going to talk about today is products. That's one of the lower points there, the services as Transparent Logon. In addition to doing JD Edwards related implementations, upgrades, rollouts, and training, and of course support. Yeah.
Awesome. One focus, JD Edwards.
Yeah.
So Transparent Logon. Yeah, we work a lot with customers and do projects, and we typically do not build products for the sake of making products. We get into situations where there was no product available, and specifically this is one of them, where there was no product available that could actually match what the customer needed. And in this case, it was single sign-on. I think it was in 2012, which is officially already 8 years ago when we started this, where the issue was you log into Windows. Every morning people start up their computer, their laptop, and they already log in. And then they need to log in again.
Yeah, which is a pain, I guess.
Yeah. So we basically said one login is enough. And actually, we don't want to touch anything on the Windows network. We do not want to touch anything on the JD Edwards software. We don't want any trainings anymore to people how to use this. So we had to make it very simple and straightforward. Another thing, no help desk calls anymore.
No.
For password resets, people can be far more productive with this software. And actually, it isn't even listed, but it actually makes JD Edwards a lot more secure. Because you don't depend on JD Edwards passwords anymore, which sometimes have their limitations. So the thing is, every morning you log on to Windows. Next, you key in the URL of JD Edwards, and you log into JD Edwards. And what you want actually is log into Windows, key in your URL, or click your URL, and get into the software, and without having to do anything. So another thing is that Windows users are not always identical to your JD Edwards users. So we thought of that as well. It was actually something we run into a lot of our customers. So we have a cross-reference where you can actually map your Windows user into a JD Edwards user that corresponds with that. And yes, we get a question many times. Can you support multiple Windows domains? Yes, we can. I'll get to that later as well. So the thing is, what happens bottom line is you publish your URL into JD Edwards on your intranet. People click it and boom, the software comes up. And I'll be demoing it, of course. And some people have deep links straight into their intranet or get workflow messages.
Yeah.
So then you open your email, click on your workflow message, and boom, you're into your JD Edwards screen, whatever your workflow message brings you to. Without having to log in, go straight into your programs. Actually, we found that it's very useful for a specific program where people only used to go into one single screen of JD Edwards once a week. And of course, if you go to one screen once a week, people tend to forget their password, especially if you have lots of users. So actually it makes a lot of sense in those kind of cases to use software like this. Customers all over. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
We have big customers with loads of users. We have smaller customers with less users. We have, I think we even have a customer with only like something like 20 users, and it still makes sense to use this kind of stuff. And yes, some people have a lot of instances, and actually with the new version of Transparent Logon, you only need one instance per environment, because there used to be a lot of functionality creating more instances. We made the new version so much easier and simpler. I actually have a video out on our website, www.steltix.com/tl, to be able to install Transparent Logon really in 3 minutes to get single sign-on going.
Yeah.
It's really that easy. So the key features are you can create as many instances as you want, unlimited web servers. And another thing is that you can have one Windows user with more than one JD Edwards user, and then Transparent Logon will prompt you which JD Edwards user you would like to sign in with. Sometimes I've seen with customers that they create a JD Edwards user per company or something, that a user that's not allowed to go in another specific company, and to really separate that. Of course, for the audit, everything that you do in Transparent Logon, as a user, when you log in, there's a history table to be able to show to your auditors this user signed in with that user from there. And also administrators are being logged. So whatever happens inside Transparent Logon is being logged, and you can demo it to your auditors. And if you're not on a Windows client, it will prompt you for your Windows credentials, because this version still relies on Windows credentials, but we're already working on SAML 2 authentication, Google authentication, Office 365 authentication, and it's also one of the reasons why we came up with the new version, to allow all these kinds of authentications as a module, and also on the other end support more applications for single sign-on. A new feature is mobile. So even with it now supports mobile apps as well. And so even through AIS, you can still use Transparent Logon right now. SSL is now enabled through the user interface. It used to be some manual configuration, and it's now just click, and you're on SSL. Deep links used to be some manual setup, which is now completely supported and integrated. Instance Manager, we now have a really beautiful new user interface with instances for multiple environments, and maybe if you want to stretch out for load balancing, that's very well possible.
Okay, I was just thinking, Johan, everybody's quiet at the moment. If there's people out there that want to ask questions, please let us know. We're here to help and assist and answer any question you may have. So please use the, well, there you go. There's actually one popping up now. Thank you for that. Keep going. So there's a question, Johan. Did you see that?
Yeah, I'll read it out.
Now we need to answer
Do
it.
you
huh?
offer 24/7 tech support? Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And because we are Steltix and we already supporting a lot of customers,
Yeah.
24/7 for managed services.
Actually, that is the thing, I guess, with Transparent Logon. This product is crucial in your business, right? If people can't log on, you have big problems. So we've got a very decent SLA service level agreement that that facilitates any problems, and we make sure that that we solve them according to the SLA, I guess. Yeah.
Although in all those 8 years, I've never had somebody being down with Transparent Logon because of the software.
That's something you probably believe because he's a product guy. If I were saying that, you wouldn't believe it, huh?
No, I mean, we we actually had a situation where just the server was gone.
Yeah.
And if your Transparent Logon server is gone, well, you could choose to have a second one or restore it. But it's never actually broken as of yet.
Yeah. So thanks. Keep those questions coming because I think Johan is gonna move on to the demo. I guess, Johan.
Yes.
Yeah. So unless you want Johan to do the talking all the time, ask questions.
So let's get into the demo. Yes, and because the software is so simple, there's not a lot that can actually go wrong. So let me go to my Windows client. Where is it? Here. So on my Windows client, I did a Transparent Logon install. You can download it off the Steltix website. It's actually free to use for up to 10 users.
Yeah.
So if you want to fiddle around or play around with your administrators, just download the executable of our website, get a server up and running. It needs to be a Windows server that's a member of your Windows domain and part of your network, and that's basically everything that you need. It doesn't need a lot of memory, it doesn't need a lot of CPUs, just the basic Windows. And I typically say 500 megabyte per environment or something, which is peanuts compared to what infrastructure does nowadays. So if you did the setup next, the software is installed on your server and the administrative interface is available, which you can click, and then I already have 2 instances configured, and then out of the box it's completely empty. So what you have to do for Transparent Logon is do the basic settings. You can determine who can access the admin interface. In this situation it's everyone, which is typically not a very good idea. But this is a demo situation. Transparent Logon comes out of the box with its internal repository database. It's actually a small database service on it. If you would like to connect it to a SQL server or to an Oracle database to have all your repository data on a central database server, perfectly fine, just set it up here. And actually each field here has a quick documentation. It's also on the Steltix website, there's full documentation how to set this all up. There's an additional feature actually on Transparent Logon. So maybe for some users you want to have a self-service password reset tool as a backdoor, just in case you don't want real single sign-on for specific users. You can actually do it, and you can set up your mail server so that people get an email with that password. If you want to use this functionality, but still 99% of the users are actually using the single sign-on features, which is a lot more powerful, of course. And you can set up the user interface, of course, with HTTPS. As you see, it's set to unsecure here on the top, which means it's HTTP out of the box. It comes as HTTP. You can upload your own SSL certificate, and then suddenly the whole thing is secure. So what you do is setup. So per environment, you create an instance. This is TLDV. So if I would need to set up my production, Transparent Logon production, and maybe it's running on port 47, give it a port, and you got an instance going. So what is inside an instance? Transparent Logon, you need to tell a couple of things. It's very straightforward actually. The minimum things you need to set up is your JDAP enterprise server, and any CNC administrator would know the server name and the environment. and an admin user. And what actually Transparent Logon does, every time a user signs in the background, it generates a long random password, reset the user's password, and then redirect the user back into JD Edwards with that random password. So every login, you get a password reset, so users don't know that password anymore, which makes it a lot secure as well. And of course, you have to set up your web server URL so that it knows which web server you have to go into.
So Johan, we've got a question. What version of JD Edwards does Transparent Logon work on?
That's a very good point. Basically, any version that supports web, which is, you can go back to, I think, 8.12 or something.
Does that still exist? Yeah.
There's actually users using it, but we say officially we only support supported version of JD Edwards, because if something goes wrong in an older version, I mean, there's not much I can do, because Oracle doesn't support it anymore.
No.
But it's a very good question. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So yes, any version of that supports, has a web user interface, is supported.
Yeah.
So you need to set up your enterprise server details. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 fields, and you have Transparent Logon up and running basically. Then there's of course your AIS server. If you want to support mobile, just tell where your AIS server is, give it a name and a port, and that's configured as well. So if you are using Data Access Studio, we support single sign-on on Data Access Studio as well, and we'll be adding more applications with this new version. So if you have any good ideas or questions, just let us know, and we'll, I can't promise we'll build it, but at least we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
And
at Oracle, they would say, we'll put it on the roadmap.
Yeah, well, yeah, we actually have a roadmap. We haven't published it, but actually we're already working on the next features, and we already have a plan for the upcoming features.
Okay.
So we keep going with new features.
Cool.
Keeping up to date with the new Transparent Logon is fairly easy. You just get a new executable, you set up next, and you're up and running on the new version.
I can do it, yeah.
Actually, since 2012, the repository database hasn't changed a bit. So we're still the same database model, everything, we're just adding more features. One of the things you need to be aware of is your cross-reference. So my domain is Transparent Logon 10 test, and my user is user1. My JD Edwards user is Steltix1. And that's basically where you set up your cross-reference.
Yep.
If you don't want to use a cross-reference, and if you say always my JDE user is always identical to the network user, perfectly fine. There's a button where you can say disable cross-reference or not use the cross-reference, and then everything is seamless. I want to show it as well. There's login history for everybody that logged in, and what kind of email, what kind of functionality, which browser, which IP address. Can be exported, imported, administrative history. So I guess, yesterday I created a new user, so it's there. In case you want to maintain your cross-reference as a mass, you could create CSVs and import, export. And if you host it on a central database server, you can even SQL it. So a bit more on the details. Basically, I've set up Transparent Logon, as I showed you here. I got an instance running at port 7020. So what I'll be doing is create a URL, create a link, and say Transparent Logon, admin. Of course, I want to click here. So go to Transparent Logon, port 7020/JDE. Always go to /JDE. Click the link, and basically what happens is Transparent Logon picks it up, redirects you into JD Edwards. That easy. It's actually it's very quick return.
Very impressive demo,
yeah.
Cool.
It's not that complex.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Well, I guess that's the beauty of it, huh?
Yeah. That's why it's stable and so easy to maintain, easy to install. It's actually not rocket science. So I have a link here going to Transparent Logon, but then /shortcut launcher /P4210 to go to in my sales order entry program. So if you would want to publish that on your intranet or whatever, you can make direct links, maybe for users who only use a single screen or something, to any program. You could even put some pre-populated transaction data in there, so that people only have to click add or find, or you can prepare complete transactions within here. Cool. Yeah, for self-service password resets, in case you want to use it. It's all your Transparent Logon instance, well, /JDE goes into JDE /email. You can get a password reset. I don't have the mailbox for info at steltix.com right here, but actually now sent an email.
Thanks, I'll have an email then.
It's your mailbox.
Yeah, thanks.
So now you have an email with... And just in case you want to go into Data Access Studio, it's your Transparent Logon instance /Data Access Studio /DAS, and this will bring you straight into Data Access Studio. It's a very simple, lightweight tool. Yep. I think if you download it, it's only something like 100 megabyte. Get a Windows server, install it, it should be ready to go. I want to show you how easy it is to convert Transparent Logon to HTTPS. Some applications, it gets more and more complicated and a lot of admin work. Oh crap, of course it's not HTTPS yet. So nowadays you have to be secure, and I mean we can't deliver it with your SSL certificate out of the box. So it comes without the SSL certificate. You select your SSL certificate store, key and the password, say upload my SSL certificate into Transparent Logon, and it should prompt me in a sec, would you like to restart Transparent Logon, because I configured it for SSL, and Transparent Logon restarts itself, and then here it comes, would you like to restart Transparent Logon for SSL update. So now the software is actually restarting itself. Going back in, I just hope it's already online, I'm not too quick. Alright, the software is now with, as you see, it's secure HTTPS, and it's the same for all the instances. Maybe it's actually very simple.
Yeah, sweet.
I don't know what to say actually.
This was a demo, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyone out there? I'm just looking at the live chat. Are there any specific questions you want to ask now? Because this would be the moment. In the meantime, I would like to stress, I guess Johan already mentioned that you can take a free test drive of this beautiful software. Just go to our website, steltix.com. You can download the trial version, which is valid up to 10 users. I mean, installing is, I can do it, and I'm a sales guy. You can actually be, testing it and playing around with the tool today, or depending on your time zone, tomorrow morning. So please have a go.
If you have 100 users in JD, you could install 10 servers and run TL for free.
Well, that's your workaround. Sorry, there's another question. Do you support new tools releases as they come out?
Yes, of course. Yeah, we continuously keep it up to date. If new tools releases come out, that's the first thing. Of course, we test it, but the way it functions, it operates, it's really the configuration is that simple.
Yeah.
So we don't expect any tools release to break it anywhere between now and like 5 years. The way that JD works.
I guess the beautiful thing about that is that we as Steltix are a test partner of Oracle as well. So before any new software or releases are offered to the public or customers, we probably touched it a couple of times already, right? So that's, I guess, a very interesting thing as well. In that way, we can make sure that Transparent Logon just keeps working as well.
Yeah. So yes, we do really aim to support any tools release, and we never had Transparent Logon broken because of a tools release.
No.
But yeah, I can never say what Oracle brings out next week. But if something like that in a case would happen, we're right on top of it, get you notified, and bring out the update ASAP.
Okay. Any additional questions or remarks?
Maybe you would like to elaborate a bit on the license model.
So this is, was that? Oh no, it's not a new question. So the pricing model, the pricing structure is a yearly subscription, which you can also find on the website actually. So it's a fixed fee that you pay on a yearly basis, and then you're all covered with new releases, support, anything. So in a way, it's a new way of delivering, I guess, software.
Yeah, just in a case it would happen, you can get rid of it in a year. I hope it doesn't happen, and it hasn't happened to us. But I mean,
yeah, we don't want that though.
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not. It doesn't happen. I mean, customers typically love it.
Yeah.
Once you get to it, and I mean the return on investment, you can look up the pricing on the website. It's relatively a small fee for what you actually get for it.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Anything you want to add then, Johan?
Oh, well, please, I want to invite you to get the software and get it installed and start playing with it. We'll be supporting you. Send an email to support@steltix.com if you want support. I mean, even if you don't buy the product, we'll help you get it going, especially if you want
with the trial version.
With the trial version,
sure.
We'll just help you get it going.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I see some people thanking us for the demo. You're more than welcome. Thanks for your time and taking some of your time out of your busy agenda probably and spending that with us. Thank you very much. And we'll post this, by the way, we'll post this video online on our YouTube channel shortly, today or tomorrow. So if you want to just have a look at this video again, you're more than welcome to visit Steltix channel on YouTube. Thank you very much. Thank you, Johan.
Thank you, Jeroen.
You're more
Have a nice day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.